For you fans of The Matrix, here's an explanation as to why Neo was the one. Neo's the one because Neo was the one person who the creator, not the architect, but the creator would trust, would speak to. I'll tell you why. And why is the real power, as the Merovingian says. Think about how Neo speaks. Don't raise his voice. He's calm. Also, when he goes to the Machine City and he's told no one's reached the Machine City in 1,000 years, or in 100 years, and Neo reaches it because the Machine City, which is the child, lets him, trusts him. Now what you've got to understand is the ball that is represented in the Machine City. It's the face of a child, it's the face of a baby. What you'll find is that the training is Morpheus's training as well. If you look in the fight when the Merovingian, after his wife takes Neo to the Keymaker, right, and after fight with the swords, and above that, in the stairwell, there's the M, which represents Morpheus, and there's your clue. There's clues stitched in. It's Morpheus. And it's Morpheus's training, it's Morpheus's counselling. And what he represents is, as a child, when you're quite innocent and confident and, and you don't know about these fears. And then as the Matrix trilogy progresses, he becomes more emotional, more erratic, because he has more fears. What he is where his name comes from. You could say, what came first, the name or the individual? The name is the individual. The name is pieced together as the code is pieced together, as the personality is pieced together. So what they're scared of is more fears. And the architect and the oracle were created within the mind of the child, who was used to create. It's the AI, it's the advanced intelligence. There's more on this in some of the other videos, but once you understand, it's a place that's made as an escape in the mind of a child. That's where the Mayan comes from. The mind, D for Delta. It's a forced thing. It's a split in the mind. And the architect who created the Matrix, who created a safe place, a safe environment for the mind of the child who had been traumatized and caused this break. Then you've got a breakthrough then, as the architect describes it to Neo, by somebody who understands the emotional aspect of the mind. It's the oracle, the horror kill, one who can get rid to kill, the horror. Again, these names are pieced together because the name comes from the purpose. It's the same within this place because this is another layer. So Neo is the counsellor who has to fight through all of these battles with Morpheus, and he goes to save the individual, goes to save Morpheus from the bad people, from the agents. There's more there, but I shan't go into that too much, but that's what it is. The Machine City, when he goes and speaks to him, and there's a whole thing about Smith, and Smith being the opposite of Neo. Neo's a counsellor, and as Smith progresses, Smith wants to dominate that world. He said to Morpheus, we could never catch you. And he wants to create more fears, and you can see the emotional terrorizing. He wants to plug in. This is the traumatic fears and the trauma that the child has been through, and how it shows itself. So that's why Neo is the one. Neo is the one person who can get through, who the child trusts to stop Morpheus, to stop more fears. Morpheus in himself is a manifestation of the fears, is a character within the place that's been created to try and internally process and survive within a place that is not the place where the bad things happened. And this is also, if you think, when they make the agreement and Neo says, stop Smith, right? And when they plug in and he lays back, right? It's like the counsellor's sort of couch, right? And that's when he works through. It's all there. I haven't watched the 4th instalment. I don't need to. I can probably tell you what's going to happen in the 6th, even if it's not written